I'm Bonkers D. Bobcat, the first Toon detective in Hollywood division.
How about Jagged Stone from Miraculous Ladybug?
Oh.
He says, I'm Bonker who?
Bonkers D. Bobcat.
Oh, right, it's Jagged Stone. I'm Jagged Stone, the first Toon detective in the Hollywood division. It's rock and roll, man. Let's go.
Hey, everybody. Jim Cummings here. Welcome to my podcast, Toon'd In with Jim Cummings. We have a great guest for you today. But before we get to that, make sure you like and subscribe. Our podcast has partnered with the largest Comic-Con in North America, Fan Expo, the Juggernaut. We're touring all over North America live, so get your tickets and come be a part of the live audience. It'll be fun. Go to fanexpohq.com for the tickets. We'll see you in a city near you, or a little bit away, but you can drive. And with all that said and done, sit back and enjoy today's episode. And as always, thanks for tuning in to Toon'd In with Jim Cummings.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Toon'd In with Jim Cummings. I'm producer Chris, joined as always by the legend himself, Mr. Jim Cummings. How are you doing today, sir?
Well, yet another day in paradise, and here we are.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We have a very special guest for you today, none other than Lex Lang. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
Yes, my pleasure, really.
And now, I have to get this out of my system right off of it. Your name is literally a combination of two fantastic characters from the DC universe.
I know.
Were your parents
No, not at all,
big
actually.
comic book?
It's
Come
like
on.
Lex Luthor and Lana Lang, right? Right there together at last. No, they were not. In fact, Lex comes from my middle name, which is Alexis.
Oh.
And so I went by Walter for a long time. That's my first name.
Oh.
But literally every single time I would meet someone, like until I was like 20 years old, no joke, every time they would do a little doggy head tilt, they'd go, you don't look like a Walter. And so I always said, well, now you know what they look like. And I'd shake their hand or whatever.
That's true. You really don't look like a... I don't know. My head just did that.
It's an automatic thing. So eventually I went by Alexis, and then all I heard was, well, that's a girl's name too, right? Or are you Greek? And I said, no. And then another voice actor, a guy named Richard Epcar, a real nice guy,
Sure.
amazing voice actor. We were going somewhere, and he said, Lex, come on, let's go. And I was like, Lex Lang. I like the alliteration. It has that superhero DC vibe going a little bit. And I didn't have to change it other than what was my real name, So I just chopped a few letters.
All I had to do was take away my real name. Right. Oh, that's easy.
Yeah, so I got to keep the middle name and just like chopped it around a little, and it fit perfect.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, good stuff.
Yeah.
There you go.
Trivia for you
There's
folks.
the name. Yeah, exactly. I don't tell that often because people go, Walter, and they do the head tilt.
And you changed it before your acting career, before your voiceover career?
I started, when I first started voice acting, I was still going by Walter.
Okay.
And it was not until about a year or two that I changed it to Alexis. And then from Alexis over to Lex happened rather quickly.
Yeah.
Right. When was your career started?
I started voice acting in 1994. Yeah, 94.
Well, you're a veteran then.
Oh yeah, 31 years this year. Mm-hmm. That's all I've done for 30. Well, I've directed too, but it's in terms of income and what I do for a living has been voice acting. 31 years now.
Yeah, I've been stuck here too.
Well, yeah, it's. You're one of the greatest, and it's true. It's true. I know you're very humble about it, but I know that when I started coming onto Curious George, I played the doorman and his dog Hundley on Curious George.
Yes, you did.
And I've been doing that. I think 17 years ago is when I started that one, and I know that when I'd show up to a session. To me, I'd be pinching myself because it would be like a master class with all these amazing people.
Well, like Frank Welker.
Frank Welker. I mean, it would just
Jeff
be like
Bennett. I mean,
Jeff can do anything. He's incredible.
Yes, he can.
And Reno Romano's great narrator, and of course you being there all the time. It was just like I was like, wow, how did I get in here? So I slipped in the door. And Frank was always super nice at the end of every session, just like saying, you did a fantastic job. Wow, what you're doing with that character is great. Just always like supportive and lifting, and I think that really helped me in my career a lot, just like gain confidence about the roles I was doing and things. Yeah.
Well, the voiceover actors we're all kind of supportive, right? It's not a it's not a dog eat dog. I've said it before. Occasionally they'll have a voiceover audition at a place where they do on camera, and there'll be like 4 insurance men, 6 insurance men, all sitting there with their cases or attorneys, and they're all looking at each other like this, and the voiceover guys are, dude, what are you doing? Hey, you know.
It's like a family, really. It's it's a big family. It's getting bigger, but it's a nice family, especially that core group that's been here for decades. You know,
fooled them again, ha ha.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of like.
And it's getting even bigger with the inclusion of things, like video games and narration and just so many different avenues.
I know. When I started, there was no voices in video games because the computer chips didn't have enough memory. There was just like some MIDI file that was audio, a song or something. And then there was no anime yet when I started. It was just, they called it, when it first came out, they were calling it Japanimation.
Yes,
Really?
I remember that.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that. I thought they'd call it Japanimation,
Yeah, yeah.
Well, when I first started, they were calling bip, bip, bip. That was Pong.
Oh, right.
That was the big.
Exactly. Yeah, I was loving Pong when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I just dated myself.
Great voice acting in Pong.
Yes. Beep.
Don't miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been great.
Man.
Yeah, and even animation didn't have a ton of like that long form animation that we do today. You know, it was
Not really story driven back then.
No, there wasn't like the Family Guys and all the other long form talkie stuff. Yeah, that developed as well.
Thank God for talkies.
Right,
We'd be hurting.
Silent films, right?
We'd be hurting. Yeah. I always joke around. I said, well, I didn't want to be a voice actor. I'm just a failed mime. Right. It's like, so hey.
What was your first set of things that you did as a voice actor? Was it Disney related?
It was Disney. It was I don't know, maybe one of the first 5 shows on the Disney Channel. This new thing called cable TV popped up.
Right.
And because we had 4 channels, surely that was enough before.
Right.
But no, it was Disney Channel just started up, and it was Dumbo Circus.
Oh.
And it was people in costume, and it was basically, it was the movie Dumbo continued.
Wow.
And Katie Lee was Dumbo, and Will Ryan was in it, and Hal Smith was in it, the great Hal Smith. God rest their souls. But I was Lionel the Lion, and he was basically Timothy the Mouse. But since it was a person in a costume, they couldn't even have like a 5-foot mouse. So he was a lion.
Oh, he's a lion. I got you.
But it was the character Timothy.
That's nice.
Dumbo's pal.
I love that.
And there he was.
And they were all doing it on stage, trying to, in their costumes, right?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Things have changed since then.
They sure have.
Yeah.
My wife, Sandy Fox, who's also a voice actress, when she was starting out, she was also involved with a show, I think it was an Old MacDonald's Farm kind of show, where she played a chicken. She wasn't in the soup, but she was the voice of a little chicken in a window, kind of thing, which was, they were doing a lot of those types of shows.
That's good she wasn't in the soup.
Yeah.
Wow.
How about you? Where was your start? Bring us through the history of Lex Lang.
Wow. Well, it's kind of interesting because I started as a stage actor many years ago.
I think a lot of us did.
Yeah. I did that through high school and college, and then a little bit afterwards. And I just felt inclined to do stand-up comedy at one point. And so I started touring doing stand-up comedy in the West.
Say something funny.
I know. That sounds like the 10 p.m. crowd.
Yeah.
They've had a little too much to drink.
Yeah, exactly.
But I did that for a while. I was opening for, back then, there were names like Richard Belzer. He's an on-camera actor. He was and I opened for Jim Carrey, for Marsha Warfield.
No kidding.
I worked every week with David Spade in Arizona at this place called Anderson's Fifth Estate. Every Tuesday night for a couple of years we worked together. And then one week he was gone. And the next week he was like writing for Saturday Night Live. And then like 6 months later he was on Saturday Night Live, and his career exploded ever since, right? But I did that for a little bit. And then it was at the end of like a phase in my life where I was engaged, and I had like a really bad breakup, and I lost my job, and I was literally like trying to find some direction. And I met a person who was going to the Musicians Institute in Hollywood, California. And I just started playing guitar, and this person came into a place I was working. I was working in a mall. I was working at this place called Superstar Recording, which is basically a glorified karaoke place where you come in, you sing, and they hand you, at the time it was a cassette tape, but then
That's right.
they moved to CDs later. They hand you your track of you singing, and you go on your way, right?
Well, that's kind of cool.
But this guy came in, and he sang some songs, and we hit it off, and he said, man, you play guitar, right? We should jam. So I jammed with him a couple times. And then he said, I'm going to LA in 4 weeks, and you got to come out. You got to go to the Musicians Institute with me. And I said, well, I really don't have the money. I don't have a job. I don't have, I was like really finding a new path because I had really, everything had just sort of dissolved in my world. And he said, look, put together a little tape. Maybe you can get a grant and a scholarship. If you get both of those combined, they will have you out there. So I put together a tape, a little video thing too, which then was much harder to do, right? But they wrote me back and said, you got the grant and you got the scholarship. So I said, California, here we come.
Well, that's like the Muppet movie when Orson Welles gave Kermit here's the rich and famous contract.
Right, almost. But it was more like, here's the struggling musician contract.
Oh, okay, well.
But anyway, it was kind of it was kind of neat because I came out there and I kind of instantly became the spokesman for the school, the Musicians Institute. So when someone would inquire about the school and the program, there was a video they'd receive or a DVD that was me standing in front of the Hollywood sign saying, Hollywood, California, the entertainment capital of the world. And here in Hollywood is the Musicians Institute. Let's go take a look, And so I'd tour them around the thing, right? So fast forward a little bit, 6 months, a director from a film that was being done called the school and said, I need you to send somebody over to show my actors how to look like they play music, because all of the actors had never picked up a guitar before.
How to look like they play.
And it's a movie about a band. A band is the central thing in this movie. And so they sent me over, and I was showing them how to like jump off of the riser and do windmills and, Pete Townsend and all this stuff. And the director goes, you wouldn't happen to be an actor too, would you? I said, as a matter of fact, that's really what I am. And he said, okay, you're in the movie, and the guy who I was helping was like, wait, what? He goes, you're going to be the keyboard player instead. Okay. You can look like you can play keyboards. And so he kept all his lines and scenes and everything, but they added some scenes. Fast forward again, the guy who was the bass player in the band in the movie became my dear friend. And he is actually Robert Mitchum's grandson. A real well-known actor in the 40s and 50s, a guy named Robert Mitchum.
Of course.
And his grandson Bentley became my dearest friend and roommate. We were living in Bentley Mitchum, yeah.
Okay.
He's a fantastic actor, really nice person, great songwriter too. And we roomed, and he went and did a film in Vancouver. This film called Susie Q.
I grew up in Vancouver.
You did? Oh, nice. It's a beautiful city.
Sure
My
is.
God.
Yeah.
So he called me and said, hey, I'm doing this movie. Come on up. And so I went up to visit him for a week. And the girl that was playing opposite him in the movie was a woman named Amy Jo Johnson. And she's the pink Power Ranger.
Of course.
And so she was at the time. And so as we were coming back from dinner one night, I started doing my stand-up comedy thing. And it had impressions in it. Like I would do Sean Connery and Jack Nicholson and Christopher Walken.
Do you ever do them anymore?
Yeah, when I first started doing voice acting, I wasn't an impersonator, but I was a voice match specialist. And so I took my card out to all the studios and gave them a card that said voice match specialist. If your celebrity can't come in for the third session or whatever,
that's really smart.
Bring me in, and I did
really
sound
smart
and stuff.
That's nice.
Rewind a little tiny bit. When Amy heard me doing these impressions, she goes, "You'd be a great voice actor." And at the time, I was like, I have no idea what a voice actor is.
What the hell is that?
There's no voices on the cartoons I watch. There was no anime, no video game. So it was like nothing to reference. She goes, no, on Power Rangers, there's always some guy in a suit that is a villain of the week or whatever that needs a voice. And I said, I'd be open for that. So she introduced me to the producers there, and they ran me through the ringer a little bit and said, you got skills, kid. Come on, And so they brought me on, and I did like 3 different seasons with Power Rangers. And at the same time is when I reached out to all the studios. It was around that time I met my wife, Sandy Fox, my wife. And she was with ICM already, and she helped me get an agent. I was with ICM for a little bit, and then I kind of moved around a little. But she helped me with the demo, the agent, and all that. And back then, if you probably recall, we had pagers. Nobody had a cell phone.
That's right. Oh gosh, yeah.
Everybody had a pager.
Had to pull off the freeway and find something called a payphone.
Phone booth. Yeah.
A payphone.
That was a payphone. You actually had to carry change and put it in.
Way back.
This is this is a long the ago.
Kids are out there going, what? What's that?
Payphone.
What is that?
Superman would change.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Yeah.
It was his changing booth.
Go figure. Yeah. Occasionally you'd see a little scrap of red cape on there.
Got caught in the door on the way out.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing.
So that's kind of my origin. And then I was blessed to, it's funny, this guy Bentley, again, he invited me to a wedding. And while I was at the wedding, the table I was sitting at was this woman named Andrea Romano. And I met her at a wedding.
We know her.
Yeah, and we didn't talk about voice acting. I was there at the wedding with Bentley to do some music, and we were both going to play some songs for the wedding. But here I was sitting next to her, and we talked for, I don't know, we hit it off. She's a wonderful woman.
Oh, yeah. She's great.
We just hit it off. We talked for, probably a couple hours and said, stay in touch, and I never asked her like what she did for a living because it was just more about the good conversation we were having there. And a few years later, maybe 2 years later, I got an audition from Susan Chico, who was her right-hand assistant. I don't even know. I wouldn't even call it an assistant, just her right-hand executive. I don't know what you'd call Susan, but just someone who's doing a lot of work there together with Andrea. And
yeah, that's the official title.
Yeah, that's on her business card.
Yeah. I do all the crap nobody else does. Thank you.
But she was a big part of the casting, and I had auditioned for a few things, and I was cast. And when I got to the session, Andrea was like, "Wait a minute, you're from I know you." That's fantastic. And Andrea really got in my corner thereafter, and she'd bring me in all the time for all her shows as a utility player. And I'd come in, I'd do, 2 voices for Captain Cold, something for Heatwave, Atomic Skull has a voice, So I would do a lot of little bit parts for her, but she kept me on the Batman, Justice League Unlimited, Legion of Superheroes,
Well, that must have been
Avatar.
terrible.
That was amazing.
That was great.
It was so good.
Wow.
So I owe her a lot.
So you hit the ground running.
I hit the ground running, and right at that same point, anime started. And I was right at the front door for that as well. And I did a lot of like really famous anime. But it was before
Did you do that in California?
In California, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was living in California from 1988, I think I moved
So I remember
California.
hearing that almost all anime back in the day was in Dallas or somewhere in Texas.
Yeah, it was split between Los Angeles and Dallas. Yeah. There was Funimation was the company that was out in Dallas. And they got bought by Crunchyroll, and Crunchyroll, I think, got bought by Sony. I believe that's or Paramount, right? So they're pushing it hard now.
Wow. Yeah, no kidding. Well, that's a hell of an intro.
I know. I was really lucky because it just so happened that as video games were introducing more dialogue, and as anime was happening, and as Western animation was happening, I kind of had a foot and a hand in every pool, and it was growing. And for a while, it was all segregated. Like if you were interested in anime, it would be, you got to go to an anime convention. If it was a sci-fi convention. And pop culture just kept coming together with all these things together. And now it's just like any kind of con.
Yeah.
It could be an anime con, but you're going to find superheroes, you're going to find video games. They call them Comic-Cons now, of course,
Yes. And apparently you can get comics there.
Yes, you can get comics, like the original Comic-Cons, like San Diego Comic-Con, it was all about the art.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
we were just at a MegaCon Orlando last weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And it's such a conglomeration. I mean, you look at all the actors and voice actors and everything, and it's like, how do they even fit into this sphere? You know. They have the Lord of the Rings cast.
I know.
They have anime. They have Heather Graham, which I couldn't believe.
What was she
I
there
just
for?
She was just there to look good, man. Oh my God. I couldn't believe I stopped by her booth and I was like, just staring. I was like, oh my God. I had to look up how old she is. 56, and she looks
stunning.
Yeah, she looks 30.
Incredible.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like mid-30s, 40
Maybe.
maximum.
That's amazing.
I was like, oh my God, where's the babies?
Yeah. Well, things like MegaCon and San Diego Comic-Con. Like the big cons, MegaCon, San Diego Comic-Con, those giant Comic-Cons. That's like A-list movie actors, casts from all the greatest movies.
Lord of the Rings.
John Cena was there. It's like, what does wrestling have to do with?
Oh yeah, wrestling too. That's been introduced into that sector. I've noticed
he was a superhero in his last movie.
Yeah, and Mr. T was there.
Yes.
Oh, really?
My God.
Yeah.
Yes.
That must have been funny. Was he all adorned with his chains and everything?
He was adorned in the American flag.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yes.
So you went patriotic now?
Very. He had the American flag headband, the American flag pants, all the way down to the cuffs.
And he was still the same guy. I pity the fool. You Winnie the Pooh. Get over here. I love me some Winnie the Pooh. Give me some of that honey.
Did he put you in a headlock?
Yes.
I pity the fool who take away from the
poo. Yes. Oh my God.
But yeah, it's such a crazy world now. It's like if you're not collaborating or crossing over, are you really like doing anything as a business?
Yeah.
It's almost like you have to. I mean, I have underwear that's Lacoste collabed with Netflix.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And
that is amazing.
Yeah. I was like, I literally just bought them because I was like, Lacoste and Netflix have a collaboration on underwear.
Of course.
I need to buy these. Because what in the world is this?
Netflix does?
Excuse me. I have to drink some water right now.
Oh, yes. Me too. Some H2O.
That's my. Oh, wow.
And this is your company.
Clever.
This is, yes, H2O.
It tastes like water.
Best tasting water in the world.
Best tasting water on this particular planet.
It's true. Yes, on our planet. It may even be the best tasting on a few other planets too. Yes, H2O. My wife, I'll just call her Sandy because I've said her name a few times already today. But Sandy and I started the company. We thought about it for the first time in 2004, but we opened our doors on Valentine's Day of 2006. And we have just been going strong ever since. You can get it online. All you go to is h2ohmwater.com. And you can get love water and peace water and a multi-intention water that has love, peace, joy, gratitude, prosperity.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's nice.
That's a pretty good combo.
Yeah, we call it water with intention. And one of our slogans is think it while you drink it. And, they found that for our own mental health, if you start your day with something positive in your thoughts, that it cascades outward in your day. And even like you kind of hold the vibration of that positivity and good things gravitate towards you, or you notice the things that are good in life as opposed to waking up and complaining or being fearful or whatever. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Years ago, I had a place in Missouri, the Washman, Devil's Washman, which is a great name. But I had it tested to see if I could bottle it.
If you had a well? You had a well there?
And an incredible spring. It literally shot out the side of a hillside in a mountain.
Wow.
It was, and it had 3 lakes on it, which came from that water. And because it was in the Ozarks, I thought it would be good to be called H2 Ozarks.
Well, that's fun.
And the slogan was, "We've been making water since forever." So I.
Did you ever do that? Did you ever do it? Or?
No. I ended up selling the place, but I'm friends with the owner. I don't know. Maybe I'll.
And the water itself was like, it was good water.
Yeah, I had it tested, and the guy said, "Well, I don't know if you want to sell this. You got to do some work first." And I said, "Oh God, like what?" And he goes, "I'd put it in them little plastic bottles." And I go, "Oh, that's it?" And he goes, "That's about it." Oh. I said, okay,
that's easy enough.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I was thinking of doing that anyway.
I'd build a giant facility and a humongous filtration system.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so that worked.
I want to switch the topics really quickly because I've heard you on other podcasts, and to me, your voice matching ability is incredible.
That's amazing.
Where did you find that talent of being able to sound like, almost anybody?
Yeah, it's interesting because it was more of a joke that I did as a child when I was in 7th and 8th grade. I found that I could sound just like my science teacher.
Oh, there you go.
And so often, and in fact, he liked me for it, and I got in trouble for it at the same time.
Right.
But often during a test, we'd be taking a test, and I'd go, "Pencils down," and then everyone would put their pencils down, and he'd look up from his desk, and he'd wonder what was going on, and then I'd be just like writing, and then everyone leave the class, like people would start getting, and eventually you know, he caught on, and I had to stop.
You were in detention.
Yeah, more or less. But later, when I started doing the stand-up comedy stuff, I was a big fan of Rich Little, who nobody knows nowadays,
sure.
but he was an impersonator, and
he was really good.
He was fantastic, and I was a real big fan of that, even as a young person, like really young, 13, 14, 15 years old, and I would see him on the Johnny Carson show.
Sure, yeah.
And so Johnny Carson, for those of you who are out there that may not know who that is, he was not the original, but the second longtime host of the Tonight Show. And Jay Leno took over for him after that, and then Jimmy Fallon took over after that. But I would watch Johnny Carson, and as a kid, I'd be in my room just trying to, let's see, tonight on the show. You know, I didn't know this, but Doc Severinsen, and I'd be like imitating him, and then I would do my own show on a little cassette recorder. I'd be Johnny Carson, and then I'd be Johnny Carson interviewing Jack Nicholson. You know, so you know that noise when you hear that noise, Johnny. You know, and I'd be doing that, and I'd be going back and forth, and then
and you got to do the face.
Yeah, have to. Well, you have to kind of become the character when you're doing an impression, especially, right? And then because I had done so many impressions over the years, when I finally became a voice actor, that's when I thought, you know what? It is an ability that I have that not everybody has. So maybe I can reach out and find some work, you know.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And I did like a lot of stuff for William Hurt.
You know, William Hurt has that voice that's kind of in here, and it's he's got that airy quality to it.
You know, that's kind of what he sounds like, right?
That's right. It's right there.
And
see, I love those kind of obscure ones.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
It's funny because there was a remake of the film Lost in Space.
Yes,
that was William Hurt was in it. Matt LeBlanc from Friends, and a few others.
Oh my God,
it was a terrible movie, unfortunately. But but it was a remake, and I auditioned to revoice 13 lines of William Hurt, and I was like, great. I auditioned. I don't know, it was maybe 30 or 40 people. I got the part. I came in, and I was doing the first few, and they said, "Oh, we're going to have another session tomorrow." And I came in for the session the second day, and they said, there's a little hiccup in the whole plan that we have here. William Hurt has decided to go to an ashram in the Himalayas, and he's off the grid for the next 16 weeks.
Okay.
So
perfect.
You're going to be replacing him for everything we were going to have him do. So I was like, how much is that? And they said 38 lines, and about 6 or 7 of them are on camera. We're just replacing because of the generator in the background. We're replacing, right? So I did that. And it came out great. I was so lucky. I was really happy because sometimes as a voice sound-alike guy, you know, my voice changes day by day. Some days I have the lower pitch in the morning that's really very strong.
I know what you mean.
Other days, you know, it's kind of, I have an airy quality to my voice sometimes that's great for like a Charlie Sheen, you know, like, all right, we're going to get the angels over here and we're going to go hang out, you know, like it's got that lighter stuff, right? And so it all worked perfectly for the William Hurt thing. And then while I was there on the last session, they said, now Gary Oldman is playing the Dr. Smith. And he turns into a creature at the end of the film, like a spider creature. And he did some of his efforts, but we really want to enhance the efforts, right? And so they said, can you do a few for him? So I did all the creature stuff at the end of the film. And then they said, there's a guy at the beginning of the movie who is a traffic, like a controller for the liftoff of the spaceship they're in. And he has this scene where he's telling Matt LeBlanc, good luck, old friend, or whatever, right? But this actor who was playing this guy chose to do it in a Russian accent. And the director said, okay to him, because the actor said, well, by the time we have this kind of space travel, Russia and the U.S. are going to be pals, you know. It'll be like a Russian guy working in the U.S. thing. Well, yeah, a little. I mean, it's been a long time. It still hasn't worked.
Still waiting.
Still waiting. And so he said, we need to revoice that guy. He'll still be on camera. We meant
to say Irish.
Yeah.
Some, you know.
Good luck, old friend.
The Irish space program.
But he said, you know, just generic American, whatever. So it was funny because by the end of it, I did a bunch of radio commercials that were in the movie. I did the Gary Oldman stuff. I did A Line for a Robot. I did William Hurt. I did the guy at the beginning. And we had a joke. We called it Lex in Space instead of Lost in Space.
No kidding.
So
that's nice.
Yeah. And then I went on to do like lots and lots of other stuff, probably 200 or 300 other sound-alikes. And sound-alikes are a lot different than an impersonation. You know, like there's a guy named Matt Friend out there who's on social media who does all the impersonations of everybody. He's fantastic. And that's an impersonator, you know. A sound-alike is it's a much more specialized type of work because what I have to do is I have to sound just like the performance that particular actor is giving. I don't have to sound like
them in character.
Yeah, I have to sound like them in the character. So, you know, if it's John Travolta or something, I'm not going to do a John Travolta, you know, like all that John Travolta.
Yeah, right.
He's got a Southern accent in this movie and he's talking very normal, you know, so I have to listen and be able to go, okay. And another thing that's challenging about it is that often those sound-alike roles are there's the actual actor saying something, and then there's the plug-in of that sound-alike, and then there's the actual actor saying it right after again. And so I have to throw a line in between the actual actor. So if it's not exact, it stands out.
It's really have to blend.
You have to really blend and be, you know, convincing. And so that's the big difference technically between a sound-alike and an impersonator.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I mean, I didn't know you had this great, you know, side career. I mean, that's in and of itself.
For a long time, probably for 3 or 4 years, that was almost my main career. It was just going from studio to studio doing different sound-alikes.
Do you think that your musical background, I know you grew up playing violin and the French horn, guitar, drums.
I know.
Do you think that musicality helps you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, hear the voice and what's going on in the voice.
Because I developed my ear, we call it, right? You know, like I have a good ear for listening to tone, texture, pitch. You know, these are all things that play into the final thing.
People have their own rhythm.
The rhythm, exactly. Yeah, the rhythm. You know, I was trying to teach somebody the other day I've done it before, but to do like a Sean Connery. You know, you go like, well, where does his voice sit? Is there a lot of air? Is there a lot of air going through and I feel the air? No, for Sean Connery, it's almost like these glottal stops, which is, it's like very little air happening, right? So, and where's the pitch? It's low, right? So if I talk like this, it doesn't sound like Sean Connery at all. So then you go, okay, what's his music? So there might be a little bit of music happening, right? Yeah. And then you go, does he have any speech impediments or anything? Well, for Sean Connery, his teeth are, I don't know, whatever. The SHs, or the S's are all SHs, right?
Yes, that's right.
And then he's got the accent, a Scottish accent.
Yes.
So you start adding those things together and you say, yes, hello there. Listen, your plans for world domination are over, Jack. You know, and like, so you start like, you know.
And it doesn't hurt to have that cheek poke up.
Yes, of course. Yes, listen, my teeth are loose. You know, so.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So whenever I do that, I break it down into a lot of pieces and then try to put all of them back together.
And how long does that usually take you? Like when you hear a voice, like my voice, how long would it take you to recreate?
It would probably take me, you know, sometimes it's fast, but most of the time I really have to break it apart and hear where I'm hearing the placement and everything. So maybe half an hour, you know. But I'd have to listen to your voice.
What a long time.
No.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow. And
I'm not always exact. I'm always very good about letting my agent know when I don't, because we get these voice match auditions often, right?
Oh yeah.
And if it's not really 100% dead on, I don't want to submit because I don't want to like.
Boy, I agree.
You know.
I mean, if you could do every voice, you'd be the T1000, right?
Right.
Glad you got that.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with saying, you know what, I'm not a dead match for this. You know, there was a Danny DeVito thing that came in just a couple days ago as an audition.
Oh yeah.
And it was a sound-alike for Danny DeVito, and I gave it a try. I listened and I tried, and I just didn't sound like Danny DeVito. I sounded like, I don't know, some New York cabbie or something by the end of it. Well, you know? He might have been
pretty
that
close.
At one point.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Well, speaking of Danny DeVito, I was singing Danny DeVito in Hercules.
Oh, you did?
You're my one last hope. So pushing that depends on you.
I'm going to send you this audition that I got a couple days ago for you to do the Danny DeVito sound-alike.
So how did you go about finding his voice?
I listened to him doing the first part of the song, and it was a voice match, obviously, but they call it sweetening. Oh, and nice. That's when you, like with Jeremy Irons and Lion King, I just sang the song.
Yeah.
And he wasn't in it. He did the talking, and then I did singing. But Danny was not bad throughout most of the song.
Okay.
So what you do is you get the music and you listen, and because he's never going to be right on every note, so they just have you do the whole song. And then, like, you're my one last hope. Oops, okay. You're my one last hope. That was me.
Yeah.
And they'll go, I've seen them do it. And it's literally the clunker's coming up, pull him down, pull Jim up, and we're back to Danny.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
Interesting.
physically.
That's good.
They physically
I never
would go
knew
like that.
So they're like piecing together both performances into one.
both the performances to end up on key.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was a kind of a cool process.
And they do that a lot with sound-alikes. Like I said, there'll be a line before and a line after, and we got to plug in that centerpiece.
Yeah.
You know, and that happens often.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, it's an interesting, and I always, whenever I have had to do that, I like it. The more character in the voice, the better.
Yeah.
Because it's like the last thing you want to do is, I don't know, imitate, not Jay Leno, I don't know, Jimmy Fallon or something. He just doesn't have anything that distinct about his voice.
Right.
It's like the last thing you want. Give me somebody weird, so you can hang your hat on it.
Give me some character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a way. But that's not as much of that going on as there used to be. I think. I don't know if I don't know why, but just maybe actors are getting better at being themselves. Who knows?
And I think there's so many more actors in this pool.
Yeah.
Like when you started, you were ahead of me by a decade
years,
or so,
yeah.
right? And then when I started, there was still a small group. I would say all the voice actors were maybe 200 of us, it seemed like. And now I'd say it's in the thousands of voice actors.
There are going to be 200 voice actors at one convention now.
Right, exactly. Some of those signing
kidding.
conventions, nostalgia cons and stuff, there's a couple hundred people there, know, so.
Yeah.
And that's just a tenth of the pie, right? So.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you do a lot of conventions?
I have been over the last few years. I've done them over the last 20 years, maybe 5 or 10 a year, maybe. But over the last 3 years, I've been doing a lot of them. Mm-hmm. There's an anime show that I'm on called Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yes.
That's the one we traded. We traded those lines.
Right.
But it's a phenomenon. It was voted, not voted. It was it won the Guinness Book of World Records for 2023 and 2024 as the most watched television show on Earth.
That's insane.
Wow.
That's insane.
So, and I played
That's
one
wonderful.
of the main characters, and or two of the main characters.
That's great.
Yeah, and so the call for me to be at these conventions has increased quite a bit. So I'm taking advantage of it. I'm riding the wave while there's waves to be ridden.
Wow, that is amazing.
That's so cool. One of my favorite roles that you played was Dr. Neo Cortex.
Yes, Dr. Neo Cortex here. He's a fun character.
Such a fun character. And you worked with Jess Harnell, right?
Yeah, Jess played Crash Bandicoot for a long time. There's a new guy that's doing it just the last couple of things. His name is Scott White. He's also a voice actor, real good guy. But yeah, it's been 22 years of that character.
Wow. So the games I was playing as a child literally were you.
That was it. That's it. Exactly.
Wow. Such great memories.
Good for you.
I used to really fight when someone would say, "Oh, you're part of my childhood." I would I'm not old enough to be your childhood yet, but now I'm old enough. And now it's like a multi-generational thing. It's like I'm part of your child's childhood. I was part of your childhood, and and your mom and dad's childhood.
Yeah, it took me a while to get used to that. There's a guy like my age. No, I wasn't a part of your childhood, damn it. That was Sterling Holloway. He was, But then the kids will be sitting there, and I guess you're right. I guess I was.
Yeah.
But I'll take it.
I will too. That's one of the things at conventions that is really satisfying to me is the connection between the people who come up, take the time to wait in a line, and then come up and tell me what the character that I've played and the show that I was in meant to them.
That's right.
It's amazing.
I agree.
It's like...
What would you say the most popular characters that you get asked about are?
It varies. I've done about 600 characters in 31 years.
Yeesh.
So
I saw your credits. I was just kept scrolling and scrolling and scrolling.
There's 50 of them that often people come to see me for. Dr. Doom, I've done in a few things. Batman in a few things.
I was going to ask you if you could give us some Dr. Doom, because Dr. Doom's, he's like the villain of villains.
It's amazing, right? So
he's it.
He has a slight Latvian accent, and so he's like, "You are no match for Doom." He's just very sinister, right? You have no idea what you're dealing with. It's just very simple, but very because he's this sorcerer. He's incredibly intelligent.
Yes.
He's got all these powers and skills, and he's really not afraid of anyone.
Yeah, he's as smart as Reed Richards easily.
Easily.
So,
easily.
Do you see like a surge in popularity with like Avengers Doomsday coming out?
A little bit, I think.
Does that carry over?
It does a little bit, yeah. I think that what I've noticed is some people think that Robert Downey Jr. is going to just be cast as Dr. Doom in this standalone Dr. Doom thing. And then there's a bunch of people who are very much into the comic books who said that there's a whole series of comics, I think it's 3 volumes, where Dr. Doom goes back in time and takes over Tony Stark. So I believe that that would be the smart way for them to go, because I have a hard time peeling away Tony Stark in an Avengers film and making him Dr. Doom. Like when they said he was cast as that, I was like, what?
Yeah, that doesn't
fly.
jive.
But when these comic book guys were like, no, he goes back in time, takes over Tony Stark, I'm like, well, I hope that's the one they're doing.
Yeah.
It makes more sense.
I was thinking like either that or like the multiverse. You can pretty much do anything with the multiverse.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Yeah, that's right.
Infinite possibilities.
But still, to cast the same guy in 2 different multiverses as 2 different characters.
But it's Downey Jr.
I know. We all love RDJ, right?
Yeah, I got to love that guy.
It was funny, speaking of Dr. Doom, when I was working on Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, which is the Dr. Doom, really. I worked on a couple video games also, and Marvel Heroes and things as Dr. Doom.
That was a great game.
But when I was doing the part, Stan Lee was in the building, and he had stepped in just to watch what I was doing for a couple minutes, and then he stepped out, and I didn't even realize it was him until after the session. I was walking out, and he was walking out, and I was like, that's Stan Lee.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Can I get it?
Yeah.
I'm playing Dr. Doom in there. And he's like, I know it. Like he sounds like this guy. And I was like, can I get a quick picture with you? And I was like, great. And I took a picture and I left. And I didn't even introduce myself like as my name. I'm just playing Dr. Doom. So a few years later at Comic-Con.
It's like meeting Mount Rushmore.
Right. So who? A few years later, I saw him at a Comic-Con. It was a Wizard World, I think. And he has his setup where he's got his table in the front, and then there's the curtain behind, and behind that he makes like a lounge where he's got a couch. It's kind of like this. He's got a real comfortable space. He had this giant what is it? Like a ice chest, more or less. This giant ice bin that had all these Orange Crush in it. Right, that was his drink. He loved Orange Crush. So I popped my head back there and I said, Mr. Lee, I met you a few years ago. And he goes, yes, I remember. This is a terrible Stan Lee voice, right? But I was like, I play Dr. Doom in Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. And he goes, you're my favorite.
Oh,
and I was like, I just like melted under the floor at that point in time, right? It was like, I can't believe it. And even if he says that to everyone, like that was still great. I got to be one of those guys he said it to, right? And so funny. From that point on, I was like, oh man, my life is complete with Doom.
No
right?
kidding,
So he was super sweet. And Sandy came back there, and of course, you can't help but love Sandy when you see her. And he was like, enough of you, who's this woman? He totally loved her so much. And we talked with him for about 10 minutes, and he was super sweet, really down to earth,
Yeah, I met him when we did Comic Book the Movie, Mark Hamill's magnum opus. Yeah. And he was just so cool. I mean, he was Stan Lee.
Yeah, so cool. I bought a guitar at an auction that he had signed, and so I have that as one of my prized guitars. And he was just such a nice man. And interestingly enough, he passed away on my birthday.
Oh wow!
Which is another connection, right? So not a happy coincidence, but still, it was like, I can always remember when he passed away because it happened on my birthday. Yeah.
Oof.
So
man,
nice.
Oh man! Did you always know that you were going to do this?
I always knew I was going to do acting.
Yeah.
Voice acting, like I said, it was like I had no idea when it was introduced to me that what a voice actor was. But I really loved it. Once I got my feet wet, I thought, here's something I can really get behind, because as a voice actor, we get to do things that we would never be cast on camera.
Oh, you're not kidding. Like ever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all. I don't do any normal person that couldn't be cast on camera. I'm all bears and critters and weasels and tigers and things like that.
So great.
Yeah,
it's amazing. And like I said, you know, I know I'm kind of playing it cool right now, but you've always been like a big inspiration for me.
Oh,
and
well, thanks.
Like I've just looked up to your talent for decades. You know,
I appreciate that.
And so, like I said, when I was in the room when we're recording together, I'm just like, life is great. You know, to be working in a peer situation like that is just. I call my mom. My mom will be 102 this April.
Wow.
And,
God bless her.
Yeah, God bless her. And after sessions, I call her and I'm just like, oh, I got to work with the greatest people today. And I was just
Frank
so
Welker.
grateful. Oh yeah, Frank. And don't discount yourself. You are right in there with that incredible, legendary status as a voice actor. Yeah. It's all one role at a time, I say, because people are like, God, you did so many roles. I said, well, I just did one at a time. They go, how do you keep them all separate in your mind? I'm like, I don't have to.
Yeah.
I show up to the session. If it's something I've done before, they play me what I did last time. So it's easy that way.
Yeah.
And it's nice because, like, if I had to play like a super old, a guy who can barely walk, I can play that guy. And I can play his teenage grandson. Come on, Grandpa. Whatever. I don't go too young because some people, try to stretch down to 12. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I can't do that.
I'll be the kid in high school after his voice changes a little.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe while it's cracking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Incredible.
It's amazing.
That's great. Well, should we do some voice swaps? Are you aware of this
we
game?
We have a little thing that we do.
What do
a
you
little
do?
game on this podcast. If you're willing, I'll explain it right now.
Yes.
Okay.
So the voice swaps it's a pretty simple game. So we'll start out with Jim. He'll say a line of one of his iconic characters. Let's say Winnie the Pooh. Like, oh, stay sweet as honey.
Okay.
He'll do it in obviously Pooh's voice, and then you'll repeat that line, but in one of my characters. Yeah,
voices.
Say Dr. Neo, Cortex, or Victor Von Doom, etc.
Okay.
And then we'll switch back and forth a couple times.
Okay.
How's that sound?
That sounds fun.
All right.
Let's see. So, how about Darkwing Duck?
How about Darkwing Duck?
Okay, sure.
Here's your line as Darkwing, and you have to repeat it as your character.
Okay, I'll do Cortex.
I am the terror that flaps in the night.
Oh, yes. I am the terror that flaps in the night.
What is wrong with that picture? Okay. What is right with that?
Get me crystals.
Okay, now you give me one of your characters.
Okay. Okay, how about I'll do Victor Von Doom, okay? And it's this very simple line that is, Doom does not surrender.
Oh, that's...
And who can you do as that?
Pooh does not surrender. Had to be Pooh. It had to be Pooh.
It had to be Pooh.
They can use that for the next Kingdom Hearts.
Do you tell people when they're wearing a shirt with Pooh on? Do you say you have Pooh on your shirt? Do you ever say?
Yeah, I probably have. Yeah, way too often.
Okay,
and then I think it's really funny, and they go, "Yeah."
Yeah. Okay.
Never mind.
One of my favorite stories Jim tells is with Jess Harnell back in the day.
Oh.
And they're going out, and Jess would go over to some girls in the bar or whatever, and say, "Hey, my buddy over there is Winnie the Pooh," and introduce them that way, get the numbers or whatever.
Yeah.
And Jess calls him Pooh Hefner.
Yes. Yeah, and there's, I don't know if this will make it, if I should do this, but he has a concept that he would watch, because I always whispered in their ear, because if you see me, it kind of ruins it.
Yeah.
So I'll whisper, "My friend Jess thinks you're sweet as honey," and I go, and then if they go, that's a really good sign. Yeah.
Little shimmy.
Yeah, and he goes, "Yeah, she went like that."
Oh, yeah.
And I was, okay. Of course, he's married now. But
That's great.
We'll just, thank God we didn't record that.
Right.
Oops,
that wasn't.
What's the next voice we should do? Let's think of one. Well, you started off this time.
Okay.
What's one we don't really do a lot? Oh, let's do
well, Bonkers D. Bobcat.
Bonkers, yeah. Bonkers is a good one.
Yes. Okay. All right. Here, I'll give you his signature line. I'm Bonkers D. Bobcat, the first Toon detective in Hollywood Division.
The first Toon detective? Okay.
Detective.
Yeah, who could I do it as? How about Jagged Stone from Miraculous Ladybug?
Oh.
He says, I'm Bonker who?
Bonkers D. Bobcat.
Okay.
The first Toon detective of Hollywood Division.
Oh, right, it's Jagged Stone. I'm Jagged Stone, the first Toon detective in the Hollywood Division. It's rock and roll, man. Let's go.
That's great.
That's awesome. It's got a little Mike Myers in there even.
Yeah, you know what's funny is when I got to the session.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, I started with, his name is Jagged Stone. And so what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Mick Jagger, the Rolling Stones, right? So the very first time I did the character, I was finding a voice for it. It was all right in here, man. I was just like doing, I'm Jagged Stone. The lips just like went out,
the
right?
lips just
and it was all just
automatically.
it's all that right there, right? You know. And they said, well, that's really good. We like the idea of an English accent for this guy, but it's a kid show. I mean, adults watch it too, but it's like, let's like make him a little more friendly. I go, how about I do a little bit of, yeah, baby, Austin Powers, man. Like I started doing a little of that, and they're like, yeah, mix those two together. So then I was like, it's Jagged Stone. He's a rocker. We love Jagged, you know. And so it kind of mixed the two together. And
it almost reminds me of like Russell Brand from Get Him to the Greek.
Yeah, a little bit of that too.
Yeah, a little bit of that.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. Let me see. Who else
I can hear that now.
Let's see. Now my turn, right? There was a character I played on the regular show. His name was Barry, and he lived underneath the shag carpet of a car, back seat, and he lived there for 20 years.
He lived underneath the shag carpet
of a car.
The
back seat.
But the back seat, too.
The back seat.
Not the front.
For 20 years he lived there.
Ooh.
He was in trouble with the law. And
yes, he was.
The episode was called The Every Meat Burrito. And the way they found this guy was they set the burrito bag down on the carpet, and then it just went down into the carpet. And so they followed him down into the carpet. And it's a really funny episode. But at one point he goes, hey, man, that's my burrito, man. So
who am I supposed to? Who should I be there?
Should you do that?
Who's like the closest character you have to a stoner?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I would say Cheshire Cat, but that's not really a stone.
What about Tigger? How about
Tigger.
Oh yeah, let's try Tigger.
Hey man, that's my burrito, man.
Hey man, that's my burrito, man. Bounce on out of here. Wow, okay. Don't try that at home.
Yeah, that character, when I got there, they said, we really want it to be kind of like Dennis Hopper from Apocalypse Now. He was the photographer in that movie. Mm-hmm. And I was like, let's watch a little bit of it. And he had like this thing, man, where he was like all kind of wired up and, you know, and so.
He's
He had
he's
that
out
going.
there, man. Ooh.
Yeah, oh man, you know.
Yeah.
And so we threw that and it just worked great.
Oh, that's good.
There's a scene from a show. It's not a show. It's a movie. It was called Karate Girl in the 70s. And it's known as having the worst death scene of all time in a movie. Where
Nice.
like the lady shoots the guy and you can see he's got like a ketchup pack in his hand, right?
Ooh.
And she shoots him and he goes, oh! And then she shoots him again and he goes, oh! Like, and he falls against the walls. You might have seen this. It's like been a meme or whatever. But it's really funny. And the guy just, she keeps shooting him and he bounces against the mirror on the wall. And then he falls into the desk and he swipes away all the stuff on the desk while he's dying, right? Like it's the worst death scene ever. And that character in the regular show, they mimicked that whole scene. So at one point, you know, he's saying, that's my burrito, man. And they walk up, they hit him, right? And he's like, ah! And they're going like, what's he doing?
Yeah, he's overacting.
It was really funny though.
He's going for the anti-Oscar.
Yeah, it's the anti-Oscar. Yeah, he's a favorite on that show. That one episode. Yeah, it's really good. It's funny. Oh boy,
Lex, thanks for being here, man.
Oh wow. Oh,
wait. One more thing.
Are we?
What else
I heard a great story about you. I want you to retell it if you don't mind. About you dressing up as Han Solo, going to conventions as a kid, and then eventually coming to play Han Solo. I thought that was a really cool full circle moment.
Wow.
That is one of the most amazing things. There's two full circle moments for me. Now, the first one I'll just be brief because it's not the Han Solo one. My brother, who passed away about 10 years ago, before he passed away, he was the biggest Batman fan you could possibly ever have. I mean, Gotham City on one arm, the bat signal on the other arm, his car with lights that had bat things, this and that, the bat mats, the bat thing. I mean, he had everything. And one of the greatest like moments that was like full circle for me was being able to play Batman and have him come to a session and watch his brother as Batman, and just like he was that's the most proud I ever remember him being, and he was almost in tears. He was just like, this couldn't be, the only way it could be greater is if he were playing Batman, right?
Yeah.
He was an actor too, but never a voice actor. Okay, that's the story about my brother.
How cool is that?
Yeah,
it was
pretty
amazing.
darn cool.
So when I was 15, 16 years old, we would go to these sci-fi conventions, Star Wars fans, and I would always dress as Han Solo. And my 3 or 4 friends would be the rest of the crew, right? Princess Leia, Luke, Chewie, like all that stuff,
I can't
right?
do that.
And so I did that like year after year. And then a few years after I became a voice actor, the Han Solo audition came across, and I was like, oh, this is a real thing, playing Han Solo for a real Star Wars something. And so my agent said, she didn't say don't get your hopes up, but she said there's a really big pool. They're auditioning like 400 people in 4 different cities. So you're in this, there's a lot of people auditioning for this. And I said, okay, that's fine. So I auditioned. A month later, they came back, okay, you're down to the top 32 or whatever it was. And then a month later, it came down to 16 and then 8. And then when we were down to 8, they gave us the actual audio of Harrison Ford from A New Hope without any special effects, without any, I still have those, without any music, no effect. It was just off of his mic. Harrison Ford talking, doing all his lines, from the movie. And so as a fan, as an Uber fan, I just and as a voice match guy, everything, I just sunk into that. And then it just kept going and going until I got the part. My agent, it was Sandy Schnarr at the time. She called me, and she was really sweet. She almost pretended like I didn't get the part. She's like, hey, you know what? You came a long way.
She did that to me too.
Did she?
Yeah. Wow, that must be her shtick.
It's just a little thing like, oh, you did so well. You got so far. You should be proud of how far you came in this part. And I just wanted to tell you, no matter what happens, you should feel good about it. She was like pumping me up for the loss, right?
Right.
And then she said, oh, and by the way, you got the part, And I was like, wait, what?
What's the bad news?
Yeah, exactly. What's the priming for the bad news? But when I got the part, I hung up the phone. Oh, thank you. I was playing it cool. I hung up the phone, and I was literally running around my house screaming like a teenager. Just like, oh my God, I got Han Solo. Oh my God, I got Han Solo. And I called my friends who I went to high school with, and I would cosplay.
Yeah.
We're still in touch, and I called them and I'd say, you would never guess on this next game that's coming out for Star Wars, I'm playing Han Solo. And I played him for a few games, and it was great. I got to say stuff like, watch your mouth, kid. You're going to find yourself floating home, like that kind of stuff.
Wow, that's great.
That's good.
That's great.
And so it was just, it was such a great thrill. And still to this day, I mean, I've done so much Star Wars stuff in my career now. I've been Stormtroopers in like 19 video games. I did voices for Stormtroopers in 4 of the movies. I played Poe Dameron for video games and Lego. I played, Han Solo for video games. So to me, Star Wars is like.
Did they ask you to sound like Oscar Isaac?
Yeah, they did. What's funny though is when I did the first Lego game, it was before the release of the movie where Oscar Isaac was playing Poe Dameron, and I said, "Okay, so what does he sound like?" And they're like, "Well, it's under lock and key. They won't give us anything. It's Oscar Isaac."
What the heck?
And I was like, "Oscar Isaac." Okay, so I looked up Ex Machina, which was a movie he was in, and I didn't get any real vibe from him. And I was like, "Well, what do you want me to do?" So when I got to the session, they said, "We want you to do him kind of like Han Solo, keep him real roguey." I think that was an actual term they used, roguey. And I was like, rogue, okay. So I just kind of gave him like a Han Solo thing, almost, right? And then when he says his name at one point in this one Lego thing I did, and it's Poe Dameron, right? And I said, it's Poe Dameron, and the director, one of the assistants said, well, I think it's Dameron in this. And I was like, well, it's spelled like Cameron, but with a D in front. And they said, well, just give it to us as Dameron, because I think so. I was like, I'm Poe Dameron. I'm here to help you, And it wasn't. It was Dameron, So later the movie came out, and I'm like, oh shoot. So when I got cast as Poe for Battlefront 2, which was a video game,
Another great game.
It was another great game.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, now I know it's Poe, and I listened to him in the movies and stuff. And one last little story. I know we've already talked our time, I guess, but I was there was a show called Resistance where I was cast. It's an animated series on Disney that I was cast as Major Von Reg, who's this TIE fighter, the bad guy of the show. And when I was cast as that, they also said, how's your Oscar Isaac? And I was like, it's pretty good. I said,
how's your Oscar? There's a question you
don't hear every day.
Most people don't.
My Oscar Isaac's pretty
He's good. He has water and food.
So yeah, he's good. He's taken care of. So I played the Poe Dameron character for the first 11 episodes. And then on episode 12, when I got there, I was coming in to play Poe and also Major Von Reg. And the director was like, and I was like, is he feeling okay?
Here we go.
Here we go. Something's not working.
That's
He goes,
a good sign.
Lex, can I talk to you for a minute? And I'm like, yeah, sure. He goes, we love what you're doing. Your Poe Dameron is fucking, is perfect. It's great. But we made the offer to Oscar Isaac 9 months ago, and he just got back to us that he would accept the offer. So he's going to be playing Poe Dameron.
What's
and
the big hurry?
Yeah, I know. Can we wait till the end of this season and pick it up on the, But I thought, if you have to be replaced by somebody, how about the original guy that plays the character? It's like,
that's not bad.
No sweat, So, but it was funny because during the sessions, do you ever have it, Jim, where when you're going to do a character, you come up with a line that you say first to like get into that character?
Oh yeah.
You ever do that? Like just like a hook
that.
line to get you in there?
Yeah.
So for Poe Dameron, I had a scene when he's talking to BB-8 and he's about to split up and he says, I'll come back for you. So before I did any line, I would always go, okay, BB-8, I'll come back for you. Don't worry, BB-8. All right, let's go. And I'd have like that sense of what to say, right?
Yeah.
So I did that for the doorman too.
Oh, yeah?
For Curious George, I'd always thinking, I'd say it out loud most of the time, but I'd be like, a doorman's door is as important as his uniform. That kind of old-timey guy that's very happy and very pleased.
Yes, that's him.
Yeah.
I know that dude.
Yeah, I know that dude.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
that's so cool.
yeah,
since
little tricks of the
Jujutsu
trade.
set the Guinness Book of World Records for most watched show, I feel like we have to hear some voices.
So check it out. One last story.
Please.
When I got to the session, actually the first sessions we had were during COVID and we were doing them remotely. And this particular show is done what they call simulcast. So it comes out on a Monday in Japan. It goes to the English adaptation writer on Tuesday, which is basically a guy who's going to take the literal translation and adapt it so that the mouth flaps fit the English. For example, in Japanese, the good morning is ohayo gozaimasu. So in the Japanese animation, it's up, right? Well, good morning is way short for that.
I know that problem, yeah.
So they have to, the adaptation writer has to write, hey, everybody, good morning, or whatever. They've fill it in, yeah. And so that happens on Tuesday. Wednesday, the director gets that piece, that new script, and then we record from Wednesday to Wednesday, and then on Wednesday they turn it into Crunchyroll or whoever's playing it, and then the following morning the English dub comes out. So when I did the first session, I said to the director, well, tell me about this character. Like, is he a good guy or bad guy? And he goes, I don't know. And I was like, okay.
Okay, that helps.
And the version, I played two versions of this character. One is named Suguru Geto, and he's like he's a sorcerer guy. But then later he dies and he gets possessed by this brain entity that is named Kenjaku. And Kenjaku, when he's in the same body, but he has this giant scar across his forehead. That's how you know which one's which, right? So season 1 was this character named Kenjaku that the director didn't know about. He just knew about Suguru Geto, right? So I get there and I'm like, what's the scar across his head about? And he goes, I don't know.
Had a bad night.
I was like, wait a minute, you don't know what the character is and you don't know. So what do you want me to do with my voice?
Sure it's the right guy? Yeah.
Are you sure I'm even playing this guy? I said, what do you want me to do with the character's voice? And he goes, just kind of use your own voice. So I'm like, okay, I can do that. But is he like good or bad?
I
like,
hate that.
Where am I like skewing to? It's like, what's his motive in this show? And he goes, he's very mysterious. Just kind of keep him mysterious right now. And so I did like my own voice, almost like this, very mysterious for the first season. And then we did a movie right after that. And when I went in to do the movie a year or so later, there was a new director. And the movie was a flashback before he had the scar and he was still this older character, this other character, younger guy. And so I came in and I said, oh, wait, he doesn't have the scar. What happened to his scar? And the director goes, well, he's not Kenjaku anymore. And I was like, who's Kenjaku? Like,
what?
I didn't know even anything because he never told me the name of Kenjaku. And so she goes, whoa, stop. Come into the booth. And she had all the manga, which is like, the animation magazines and stuff. Mm-hmm. And she showed me all the manga and we looked at the flashbacks in the film. And she's like, he's a good guy, but he's a villain. He turns dark, and she like gave me the whole story on the character. And I was like, okay. I can start pulling out of the mysterious zone and into the character himself zone. So I did that in the movie. And then when we got to season 2, there was a new director who knew it as good as the film director or even better. And by that time, once I saw the film when it came out before season 2 happened, I fell in love with the show. It's a great show. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start reading the manga myself so I can get ahead of the game. So I read all the way to the end. So by the time season 2 started, I was like, I know everything there is to know about this character, about this show. It felt so good.
You know where he's going.
I know where he was been. I know where he's going. I know where any flashback takes him, So for the viewers out there that watch the show, you'll notice he's very mysterious and he sounds a lot like me in season 1. And then season 2, he starts chewing down on the meat of it all. And season 2 in the movie, it's like, I know where I'm at now. So
there you go.
And we're in season 3 right now. We just about to go to, I think it's episode 12 of season 3 right now. Yeah.
Right on.
Congrats.
Right on.
Yeah, so that was his voice. He has this line. People always, we traded it out when we did our first little promo for this, but people are always asking him to say, filthy monkey who can't even use jujutsu.
Right.
Yeah, that was the one.
I remember that.
And then, what character would you be to say that line?
Ooh. Oh, gosh.
That would be a Pete, right?
That would probably, yeah, it could be. Filthy monkey who can't even use jujitsu. Gesundheit.
Well, you said jujitsu, but it's jujutsu.
Wait a minute. Filthy monkey who can't even use jujutsu.
There you go. Perfect.
Gesundheit again.
Yes.
Wow. Oh,
I gotta
my
tell you
brain
how
hurts.
fun we've had.
Oh, man.
I'm really loving this.
Yeah, well, good stuff.
Yeah,
Thank
I mean, it seems like we have a lot more to talk about,
I
but our
know.
time's out.
We should do part 2.
Yeah, we'll do a part 2 for sure.
That'd be fun.
Absolutely.
We got to bring Sandy in with us too, because
Yeah,
I could just drop her off and she would do her own hour or whatever, because she,
that'd be great.
She's Betty Boop, she's Hello Kitty, she's all these anime characters, and she worked for Disney for 14 years in their.
Well, let's get her in here.
Yeah, I'll tell her. I'll tell her.
For sure.
Please do.
We should do that. Yeah, and then maybe I'll pop my head in while she's here and say,
We do have an extra chair.
Well, and there's a mic.
yes.
Oh, actually, yeah.
Is there anything you want to promote that's upcoming that people can look for you, social media, anything like that?
Just my social media. It's at Lex Lang for Instagram, and it's Lex Lang TikTok for my TikTok. And I don't really do X, Twitter, whatever that. I don't do that too much anymore. Facebook sort of is by proxy of my Instagram. It automatically loads into my Facebook sometime. But yeah, if I didn't have to do social media, I probably wouldn't be on it as much.
Yeah.
I enjoy some of the comedy stuff that's out there, but it takes a lot of time, and we have to do it as part of our career now. We have to promote the shows we're going to, and
It takes a lot
and
of
do all
time.
that stuff. It has its benefits. It is actually very entertaining, 1 minute at a time.
Yeah.
But
I knew it.
did you run out?
I did.
Did you
I was
overheat?
prepared, though.
Okay.
I'm prepared just like Scar.
That's right.
And I got to tell you, not on record, but off record, of one interaction that we had one time that you will not remember. I guarantee you will not remember. But it was again, like, not for the show, but let's wrap the show up, and then we'll I'll tell you this story.
Well, did we ask you have anything you need to tout and promote or anything?
Yeah, nothing to promote right now.
Okay,
Lots of anime coming up, lots of video games coming up.
Cool.
I would love, if Bruce Timm is out there and you're watching this show, Bruce, I would absolutely love another crack at Batman, maybe in my own, Bruce, I've been really studying this character for a long time.
Yes, you have.
And I am ready for a Batman series. Yeah, so Bruce, if you're out there, let's connect in some way, please.
Yes, and we all want to hear it.
Yes, I do. I want to be able to bring my Batman back to the animated series.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you,
this was a great conversation. And for those of you guys who want to see us live, we're doing a little partnership with Fan Expo this year. We're doing some live podcasts in front of an audience. It's a little bit of a higher energy, you know, it's a different kind of feel. Oh, yeah. We record it for everybody so that you can watch, you know, a week or two later. But I just wanted to announce some of the upcoming dates for that. The next one we will be at is Calgary Expo from April 23rd to the 26th. Followed by Philadelphia Fan Expo, May 29th to the 31st. Chicago Fan Expo, August 14th to the 16th. Toronto, I believe that one's called WonderCon? WonderCon?
Yeah,
it's still Fan Expo, but I believe it's called WonderCon Toronto, August 27th to the 30th. Dallas Fan Expo, September 11th to 13th. And finally, San Francisco, November 27th to the 29th. So if you're in the area, please stop by. I mean, it's a great time. You get to watch the show live. It's a different little energy, and you know, we get some questions and answers afterwards. You get to go see Jim at the booth afterwards.
And if you're not in the area, be in the area.
Yeah. I mean, people travel pretty far for these conventions.
They do.
It's wild.
They do. It's wonderful.
Yeah,
I've got like 26 of them coming up this year.
Yeah, right on.
Oh, wow.
So check out my website for further information.
Absolutely.
Yes, do that.
Yes.
Now.
And be sure to like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. It helps us. It helps you. It helps the algorithm. It's just good for everybody. I mean, I know it takes a lot of effort to move that cursor right on over to the subscribe. But it's honestly does a lot of good for, you know, YouTube's a weird website. You can literally watch something once and then it's never recommended again. So don't let that happen. And if you like this content so much, you want to see more of it, good news. We're on Patreon as well. You can see bonus episodes, bonus content, giveaways, little trivia episodes. We do some fun little stuff over there that you will not see anywhere else. So be sure to check out Toon'd In with Jim Cummings on Patreon. I cannot talk right now. I don't know why. So I'm just going to stop talking. Thank you again for being here, Lex Lang. We really appreciate you.
Oh, yeah,
Jim,
appreciate
thank you as always. I'm producer Chris. We'll see you in the next one.
So good.
Chicka-da-boom.